A third of our audience is not willing to sign our petition because they are afraid. That is the reputation of the Church of Scientology.
I notice a dark SUV security type vehicle tailing me.
We've gotten death threats. We've gotten told to get out of town.
The feeling of being watched.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like you're always being watched.
We've gotten now anonymous health code complaints, anonymous calls constantly now.
When I started this, that's when the harassment came. That's when my livelihood struggled. That's when the online slander started. Everything before then was pretty good. But once we started Save the Garden Project, all of a sudden, a hell broke loose and it has become a hardship.
They have sent letters to the city accusing myself, my pastor, and our mayor of collusion. And it's all in freedom of information, but it hasn't come out in the public, and I think the public should know that as well.
But the thing that really frustrated me is when they started to come at Kelly and my wife.
Police come to your door.
Fraud allegations for her.
There are all sorts of tentacles and avenues they're trying to take down our initiative.
You look at the Church of Scientology fear game, which they say no longer exists, but it does actually in practice.
Why would they seek to destroy your business, to try to ruin your livelihood, to follow you and accuse you of collusion, to accuse you of fraud? Why would they go through all of that for one little street? There's more to the story.
We can verify now that what has happened here is that for the first time in the over 200 years that our nation has existed, an American city has been occupied by a paramilitary terrorist organization. I can prove it. Project Normandy.
Hi there, I'm Brooks Gibbs, a Clearwater resident. For 50 years, Clearwater's struggle with Scientology, it's not been about religion, it's been about real estate. It's a well-documented historic fact that the organization's founder, L. Ron Hubbard, wrote detailed plans to secretly expand his real estate empire in an attempt to eventually own and control Clearwater and run it like a mob boss, with detailed instructions on how to threaten critics, blackmail politicians, and commit espionage. He called it Project Normandy, inspired by the World War II invasion of Nazi Germany. Hubbard's marching orders were clear: to obtain enough data on the Clearwater area to be able to determine what groups and individuals B1 will need to penetrate and handle in order to establish area control. Also, to fully investigate the Clearwater city and county area so we can distinguish our friends from our enemies and handle as needed. Well, 2 years later, on July 8, 1977, 156 FBI agents, the largest raid in Bureau history, carried out in boxes 48,000 pages of Scientology's written schemes. While prison sentences were then dished out, 11 Scientology executives, including Hubbard's wife, Mary Sue, went to federal prison for their criminal conspiracy to infiltrate and burglarize U.S. government offices. They seized files spelling out every dirty trick, like hiring spies to infiltrate the state attorney's office. FBI also discovered multiple conspiracies to frame their enemies, including a staged hit and run to frame Clearwater Mayor Gabe Cazares, and all the fake love letters they wrote and sent to his wife, hoping that she would think he committed adultery. FBI also discovered millions of dollars in a war chest for secret downtown land grabs. In fact, all in all, over 100 government agencies had been targeted by Scientology, including the Department of Justice and the IRS. Scientology even installed secret microphones in government buildings, including a courtroom of a federal judge. The FBI described it as the largest infiltration of the United States government in history. Now, you would think that epic scandal would stop Scientology from advancing the plans of its criminal founder, but not at all. For Scientologists, every word L. Ron Hubbard ever wrote is sacred scripture and their eternal marching orders that must be accomplished in this lifetime or the next. The Church of Scientology has stayed steadfast in its execution of Project Normandy. Fast forward 50 years, and today, through its nonprofit, its shell companies and LLCs, as well as through its network of wealthy parishioners, Scientology owns downtown Clearwater, which includes over 200 buildings on over 100 acres of prized land, now worth over $1 billion. And you know, they have the audacity now to attempt to take possession of our public streets, starting with South Garden Avenue. You see, Save the Garden is not fighting against a religion. We're standing up to a 50-year covert real estate scheme conceived by L. Ron Hubbard himself to take control of our city. And for the thousands of you who have stood with us and signed our petition, we want to say thank you. And for the thousands who have not yet, please join the largest citizen initiative in Clearwater's history. Our petition forces Scientology or any other entity to get your approval if they want to start confiscating public streets downtown. And we know you agree with this strategy because we have been stunned by your support. Every day, strangers track us down at events, libraries, and neighborhoods throughout the city just to add their names to our petition. It just takes 1 minute, and it's one more signature, but it's one more shield for our streets. Our team was just discussing how inspired we have been by you.
The type of people we've met that have come out are, people who brought their elderly parents or grandparents who got out of the car with their walkers or their wheelchairs just to come sign this thing and then go right back into their car. It was the first time that they had been out in months. Like, it was not convenient for them to come. People that left work early to get to where we were to come sign. People have done inconvenient things to come sign this petition because they feel so strongly about their love for our city. And to think that there is someone in our city that is trying to silence that voice is what made my heart just broken.
Thank you for calling the City of Clearwater. You have reached the city clerk's office. Please leave a message.
To whom it may concern, my name is Terrence, a Clearwater resident and voter. I want to bring something to your attention about the Save the Garden citizen petition filed with your office. I did a little digging and found that one of the people listed on the petition committee isn't even a registered voter in Pinellas County. That's a big problem. The city rules clearly say every committee member has to be a registered voter in the city. If even one isn't, the whole committee doesn't meet the legal requirement. In other words, this petition drive isn't just flawed, it's illegal and needs to be stopped right now.
Sadly, a handful of people are working overtime to try to derail us. We believe they're acting on behalf of the Church of Scientology because they use fake names, they constantly call the police, and they're putting constant pressure on the city staff to disqualify every signature. Take someone by the name of Terrence Leidy, a pseudonym for sure because he doesn't exist in our records, but he claims to be a resident and a voter. Well, anyways, Terrence Leidy emails the city clerk constantly, flagging a technical error when he can find one. In fact, one technical error really concerned us because one of our committee members, Jessica, wasn't a registered voter, apparently, something that the charter requires for all 5 members of our committee. Well, when we discovered this, she immediately became registered when we found out that she wasn't. And this was an absolute oversight, swiftly corrected by our team. Now, that should have been the end of it, but instead police were called. And now it's been escalated and we're being investigated by the Florida State Attorney's Office for fraud. I remember asking Jessica about the oversight.
Well, I just want to touch base on why she wasn't registered. We moved down, and during this process, we go to the DMV.
We went together with our 1-year-old at the time.
Yeah.
And so it was a bit of a chaotic day, and you think you check all the boxes and you did all the things and stuff, and then you move on and keep going. And so apparently I didn't check the box of to register to vote. And he had done it, so he was all set with that.
Yeah, I even talked to her. I was like, "Oh, you registered?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, cool." So then
You were under the impression that you
Yeah,
were
exactly.
a voter.
Yes.
Now, this is not the only legal challenge we're facing right now. The city has actually told us that volunteers are not allowed to help us gather signatures. That means the burden of collecting 10,000 signatures is up to us 5 committee members, which absolutely ridiculous, a terrible interpretation of our city charter.
It does say that we're responsible for the circulation of the petition forms, but it does not clearly state that we are the only 5 allowed to gather signatures. There's a difference between those two.
When they being the city, undue burdens to hinder you, the citizen, from petitioning the government for grievances, in this case, giving up streets without voter approval, well, then that's a violation of our First Amendment. So we have a great case. Meanwhile, our dozens of trained volunteers have already spent hundreds of hours walking neighborhoods, talking with residents across Clearwater. We are blazing forward, and we're instructing our trained volunteers to finish the campaign and ensure that every citizen's voice is heard. These challenges only highlight how difficult it's been to save the garden and how deeply we appreciate your support. Petitioning our government is one of the most sacred rights we have as Americans. It's how ordinary people like me and you make their voices count and hold leaders accountable. You see, when citizens come together to demand change, they remind those in power that the government actually belongs to the people, not to a dominating institution that's been playing monopoly with our city for 50 years. I can tell you firsthand that our petition has captured the council members' attention, as well as the entire city staff. Everyone knows that we are not stopping. We will exercise our constitutional right to petition our government for grievances, in this case, the continued loss of land. We will succeed, no matter how hard Scientology pushes back in an attempt to disqualify us. So here's what we need you to do next. Sign the petition and encourage 5 friends to do the same. Visit savethegarden.org to find your nearest signature station. And if you've already signed, there's one more powerful step. We want you to message our city council members directly. At the top of our website, you'll see a button that says Message the Council Members. Click it and fill out the short form and let them know you support the petition. Your message will go straight to their inbox.
It's the ownership of this problem is not just ours, but it's on the people. You want to see the change in your city. You want to be part of its growth. We're asking for your help.
And you've come out to bravely put your name and address on this paper to let your voice be heard. Let your voice be heard one more time.
Yeah.
Email the council, email the city staff, let them know this is your desire as well.
Clearwater, your voice matters, and together we will save the garden.